All Demon Moons in Demon Slayer explained. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is pretty good. Honestly, if you don't know what it is by now, I feel like you're living under a rock. The anime is one of the most popular of all time and is packed full of iconic characters. Today, the Amagi is going to take a look at the 12 Kizuki, or the 12 Demon Moons. These characters make up some of the most powerful demons in the series and are handpicked by the Demon King Muzan. The first thing you need to know about this group is that there have been way more than 12 of them. Muzan sorts these demons into the upper and lower ranks based on their power, and each are labeled 1 through 6. He'll replace members that are sliced and diced by Demon Slayers, and also unalive any moons that are slacking off. In fact, season 1 of the anime ends with him taking out most of the lower moons. That's why this video isn't going to cover the demon moons Kamanue, Mukago, Wakuraba, and Rokuro, since they only exist to get sliced up, smooshed, or snacked on. There are plenty more demon moons to cover though, including some past and future members not seen in the anime, so be prepared for some light spoilers. But nothing that will get in the way of you enjoying the upcoming Hashira training arc. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into these demon moons. Kyogai. Also known as the Drum Demon, Kyogai is the first member of the 12 demon moons that Tanjiro meets. Kind of. He was kicked out of the organization when his strength plateaued earlier than expected, and he's now the former lower rank 6 moon. He's bummed about this demotion and is obsessed with eating humans with special blood in the hopes of powering up and entering Muzan's good graces once again. His blood demon art allows him to alter the surroundings of his mansion by striking drums embedded within his body. Striking a different drum head allows him to rotate the room he's in different directions, teleport between rooms, or launch an invisible slashing attack. This makes fights against him either a visual treat or a motion sickness inducing nightmare depending on your vulnerability to vertigo, but is nearly useless outside of his home. As a human, Kyogai still dealt with feelings of inferiority, having been told by those close to him to give up on being a writer or musician. Tanjiro ultimately finished Kyogai, but not before giving the downtrodden demon the confidence boost he desperately needed by praising his blood demon art and drum playing. Rui. This sad spider boy is the lower rank 5 demon moon, and the first real moon that Tanjiro and company encounter in the story. Rui created the spider family group of demons and made Mount Natagumo their home. They're only a family in name though, as Rui is forcing the other demons to pretend to be his family to make up for his parents turning against him after he became a demon. Soft-spoken but still incredibly powerful, Rui pretends to be the youngest son of this fake family. His blood demon art allows him to manipulate razor-sharp and incredibly durable threads. He uses these threads to stop Nichiren swords, cut enemies into pieces, and suspend himself above the ground. The threads are even strong enough to sever his own demon flesh, and they can be further strengthened with his blood. Though Nezuko and Tanjiro pushed Rui into a corner, Gyo Tomioka ultimately beat the secret head of the spider family. As he perished, Rui realized that his parents loved him all along, and that he shouldn't have tried to replace them. Ubume. Did you know that there are a couple Demon Slayer light novels? They're a series of side and spin-off stories that take place across the series timeline. In the third novel, a demon named, and I hope I pronounced this right, Ubume, appears as an antagonist and holds the position of the rank 1 lower moon. Her blood demon art involved illusions. She was a mother before she became a demon, and that's pretty much all we know about here. There isn't even official art to depict what she looks like. If you'd like to know more about her, go check out the localized light novels, but there really isn't all that much for us to dig into. Enmu. The primary antagonist of the Demon Slayer Mugen Train film and arc, and the lower rank 1 demon moon Enmu, is pretty weird. He was the lone survivor of the lower ranks after Muzan downsized the 12 demon moons and got a bunch of Muzan's blood as power-ups in the process. This is what made him such a threat to Tanjiro and company during the film, and also why his power set was so varied. Enmu's blood demon art allows him to put people to sleep and manipulate their dreams. He uses several different tricks to make people fall asleep during the film, like commanding people to using the mouth on the back of his hand, creating giant eyes that will lure someone to sleep as soon as they make eye contact, or by adding his blood to the ink on train tickets so that the ticket owner is put under as soon as their ticket is punched. Once asleep, Enmu creates a dream world crafted specifically for each target, which usually lures them into a false sense of security. This dream world has a core that, when destroyed, will fracture the dreamer's mind. To dispatch humans, and especially demon slayers, from a safe distance, Enmu will usually send another human he's controlling into this dream world to break this core. Also, Enmu can turn into a train. Or at least he can use his ability to manipulate his body to fuse with a train. All demons have the ability to change their physical form somewhat, but Enmu is especially good at this after getting more of Muzan's blood. Having more physical mass greatly enhances his ability to put people to sleep through sight, sound, and touch, though not enough to win out in the movie, as by the end of the film he's bested thanks to Tanjiro and Inosuke's teamwork. Daki and Gyutaro. We've finally reached the upper moons, and this organization structure is about to get even weirder. The upper rank 6 spot is filed jointly by the siblings Daki and Gyutaro. Daki generally presents as the upper rank 6 member of the 12 moons when she isn't working as a courtesan while hiding her demon form. However, Gyutaro, who acted as her bodyguard when they were both humans, has manipulated his body and hides within Daki's form as a third eye. This arrangement could be Gyutaro doting on his younger sister though, as it's noted later in the show that Gyutaro is the stronger of the two and the reason why either of them holds such a high rank. Or maybe this arrangement was their best means of eating humans. Daki was wildly successful in snatching up less prominent brothel workers thanks to her blood demon art. This ability allows her to transform her body into obi sashes and even create sentient sashes that can attack people or guard her food stores. She could even store captured people within the sashes so that she could eat them later. The real strength of her ability comes from their flexibility and elasticity though. She can change the direction of an attack by bending a sash mid-strike and turn her neck into a sash that's so malleable that it's almost impossible to land a finishing blow on her. By comparison, Gyutaro's abilities are much more direct and offensively focused. He can manipulate his body to a very high degree with a focus on high-speed regeneration. He can also launch his blood as flying sickle attacks that will fatally poison an enemy if they make contact. His weapons, 2 kama, are also made from his flesh, which allows him to control them telekinetically and functionally grab any weapon that connects with it. The siblings' shared mortality is their trickiest ability though. Unlike most other demons, neither of them will perish if their heads detach from their body. Instead, both need to be defeated simultaneously for either of them to stay down for good. This makes it almost impossible for a single person to best these two demons, which is why it took the combined efforts of Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke, Zenitsu, the Sound Hashira Tengen, and Tengen's wives to defeat the upper 6 seat demons. Though they bickered as they faded away, the two quickly reconciled and found solace in their relationship. While their time as humans was filled with suffering and poverty, they always had each other, and the same was true during their time as demons. Kaigaku. Spoilers incoming for anime-only fans on this one, but there's actually a third demon filling the upper 6 rank. During the Hashira training arc, thunder-breathing practitioner Kaigaku ran into the rank 1 upper moon and chose to become a demon instead of perishing. He and Zenitsu learned thunder-breathing together under the former Thunder Hashira, Jigoro Kuwajima, though the two bickered often. Kaigaku took the demonhood quickly and, after eating a bunch of people, filled the upper 6 seat soon after his transformation. This success is likely due to his blood demon art, heavily complementing his thunder breathing. Kaigaku creates actual electricity to extend the range and power of his regular techniques. While this gave him a greater mastery of thunder breathing than perhaps any other character, he ultimately lost Zenitsu, who managed to evolve the first form Thunderclap and Flash technique into an entirely new attack. Power-hungry and self-centered, Kaigaku is one of the few antagonists in the series who doesn't get any kind of emotional redemption after his defeat. He doesn't even express regret over his master, Jigoro, committing seppuku in shame over his pupil becoming a demon. This complete lack of empathy easily makes Kaigaku one of the worst demons in the series. Gyoko. One of the weirdest demons on the list, Gyoko usually takes the form of a little guy with mouths for eyes who lives in a vase. As a human, his name was Manaki, and he became obsessed with body horror and marine life after his parents passed away in a fishing accident. When he attacked another boy who made fun of him for his obsessions, he was stabbed by a fishing spear and left to bleed out. When Muzan discovered Managi and transformed him into the demon Gyoko, he became a fervent worshipper of the Demon King and committed to almost exclusively eating children. His power set is one of the strangest in the series, as it combines magic vases with fish and flesh golems. Using different vases, he can launch different attacks that range from firing high-pressure water to summoning horrific marine life. He could also use the vases for more utilitarian purposes, like teleporting or fusing humans he's captured into flesh golems. Oh, and he's not always a little guy. His true form has him take the shape of a sea serpent man and greatly increases his close combat skills. This wasn't enough for him to defeat the Mist Hashira though, as Moichiro Tokito was able to defeat the demon shortly after awakening his Demon Slayer mark. Hantengu. The first upper rank 4 seat we see in the series is Hantengu, who usually takes the form of crying potable man. Like any toxic nice guy though, Hantengu weaponizes this pity and is in fact using this facade to his benefit. As a human, Hantengu was a career criminal who manipulated the people around him and even attacked his own family when he thought they were turning against him. In his paranoia and self-loathing, he refused to take any responsibility for his actions and never admitted to any of his crimes. As a demon, this lifetime of emotional manipulation directly ties into his blood demon art. While all demons can manipulate their bodies and some can create minions, Hantengu can create entirely new demons that have their own unique powers, each embodying a different emotion. The demons Sekido, Karaku, Aizetsu, and Urogi from severed body parts that should have proved fatal to an already existing demon. While each of them is worthy of an upper rank seed, their true power manifests when they fuse into Zohakuten, who is strong enough to fight Tanjiro, Nezuko, Ginya, and the love Hashira Mitsuri all at once. Not only can Zohakuten use each of the unique abilities of the demons that fused into him, but he can also manipulate wood to create massive dragon golems. Hantengu himself doesn't have much offensive ability, but he can shrink down to a small size and is durable enough to survive a strike to his neck. As a last-ditch effort, he can summon one final demon doppelganger, Urami, who can grow to a giant size and also use the abilities of his demon brothers. Hantengu will hide inside the body of this giant demon in a final effort to protect himself and avoid fighting, which benefits the other demons as they can't be put down for good until Hantengu is defeated. After a long and drawn-out battle, Hantengu and the demons embodying his different emotions are bested at the end of the Swordsmith Village arc by Tanjiro and his Demon Slayer compatriots. Nakime. It's nothing but spoilers from the manga from here on out, folks. So, this is your warning. This is your final warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, please leave. Or skip to the end, so, we get that watch time. You know that demon with a biwa that shows up whenever we see the inside of Muzan's castle? Well, her name's Nakime, and she becomes a second upper rank 4 demon after Hantengu bites it. As a human, she was a performer who would commit a murder before each performance because it helped make her play better. I get it. You know what? Anything to calm your nerves. This helped her career for a while until she picked Muzan as her next victim. Rather than do the same to her, Muzan transformed her into a demon, which turned out to be super beneficial for him. Muzan's shape-shifting castle is actually Nakime's blood demon art. By playing her biwa, she can manipulate the space to her liking and even create portals to, out of, and between spaces within the castle. This basically makes her ability a souped-up version of Kyogai's, making his expulsion from the lower moons all the more ironic. Although, she can create miniature eyes for reconnaissance, and we never saw Kyogai use that technique. Without Nakime, Muzan's efforts across the series would be much more difficult, and it would have been much easier for the Demon Slayer Corps to track him. Muzan did end up having to destroy her himself though. During the Infinity Castle arc, his biggest asset became a liability when the demon Yushiro takes control of Nakime and begins manipulating the castle against Muzan. While the Demon King tried to use his own mind control to break her free, he couldn't do so while also fighting Hashira, and instead made her head explode. Akaza. Upper Moon Rank 3 Akaza was the first Upper Moon to appear in the series, making an unexpected appearance at the end of the Demon Slayer Mugen Train film and arc. As a human, he went by Hakuji and spent his childhood working as a pickpocket to support his ailing father. When his father took his own life after learning that his son was a thief, Hakuji aimlessly fought whoever until he came across Keizo, the owner of Soryu Dojo. Keizo took in the young man and made him a nurse to his ill daughter. Hakuji trained in martial arts, and eventually Keizo said the young man could take over the dojo and marry his daughter. This would not come to pass though, as members of a rival dojo poisoned Keizo and his daughter, sending Hakuji into a murderous rage that would end with Muzan transforming him into a demon. Now Akaza, the demon's sole motivation was to become stronger, which broadly aligned with Muzan's goals. Prior to the series, Akaza had defeated several Hashira and famously defeated the latest flame Hashira, Rengoku. His martial arts training makes him a particularly dangerous foe, and his blood demon art bolsters that talent. Called Destructive Death, he can create a compass needle that allows him to immediately locate any nearby opponents and intuit their fighting spirit. His movements are incredibly refined while using his technique, and his guard is almost unbreakable. To match this defense, his strikes also become impossibly precise, and he's able to target vital areas instinctively. However, his sensory abilities only work if opponents have hostility towards him, which Tanjiro was able to exploit while fighting with Giyu. By attacking Akaza without any contempt for the demon, Akaza was unable to block the attack. As a testament to his strength as a rank 3 upper moon, Akaza begins to regenerate from what should have otherwise been a fatal blow. His memories as a human begin to come back to him as he exerts himself though, and he soon loses the will to fight. He uses his own technique to destroy his body and apologizes to the spirit of his would-have-been bride, Koyuki, as Muzan tempts the martial artist for the last time. Instead of regenerating, Akaza rejects his demonhood, becoming Hakuji once more and perishing. Doma. Fan favorite character and upper moon rank 2, Doma, is as chill as his ice powers. As a human child, Doma's parents started a cult with their son as the figurehead. While he wasn't particularly enthused about the idea, or even like his dim-witted parents all that much, Doma played along, though his sociopathic nature became clear when he expressed little sympathy over his parents' murder-suicide following the cult's rapid growth. As a 20-year-old, Doma encounters Muzan and becomes a demon. He continues to lead the cult, but now believes that he can best help his followers by consuming them. This twisted kindness is also what led him to transform Yutaro and Daki into demons when he runs into the perishing children on the street. Though, he still has a self-preservation streak as he attacked Inosuke's mother when she discovered the truth behind his cult, and he defeated the flower Hashira, Kanai Kocho, prior to the start of the series. In the Infinity Castle arc, he would defeat Kanai's younger sister Shinobu, the insect Hashira. This would lead to Shinobu's adoptive younger sister, Kanao Tsuyuri, swearing revenge, and her fighting Doma alongside Inosuke later in the arc. This proved incredibly difficult for the pair, as Doma is masterfully proficient in fighting with both his iron-plated fans and in using his demon blood art to create ice attacks. They prevail in the end though, thanks to Kanao using Flower Breathing's final form, Equinoctial Vermilion Eye, to enhance her physical abilities by sacrificing most of her vision and Shinobu's poison taking effect. He expresses no remorse in dying, and even confesses to Shinobu in the afterlife that he thinks he's in love with her. To put it lightly, she doesn't return the affection. Kokushibo. Here he is! Upper Moon rank 1 and one of the first demon slayers, Kokushibo. As a human, his name was Michikatsu Sugikuni, and he was the twin brother of Yoriichi Sugikuni, who would go on to invent demon slaying techniques with sun breathing. While initially the golden child, Yoriichi's natural talent presents itself as they grow older, and he soon develops an inferiority complex, which he hides underneath his aloof demeanor. While he serves as a demon slayer and even develops his own moon breathing techniques, he accepts Muzan's offer to become a demon in the hopes of finally surpassing his brother. He'd never get that closure though, as Yoriichi would pass away due to old age during their fight 60 years after Michikatsu became the demon Kokushibo. He would get to fight the likes of Moichiro Tokito, Genya Shinazgawa, Saname Shinazgawa, and Gyome Himejima during the Infinity Castle arc though. This is one of the biggest and most chaotic fights in the series, and sees the three Hashira and the semi-demon Genya push themselves far beyond their limits to even stand a chance against the rank 1 upper moon. This battle is so challenging for the demon slayers because Kokushibo's entire body is an extension of his moon breathing, which has more forms than any other breathing style. His katana is made of his own flesh and can transform as he needs it depending on his techniques. He can also grow additional blades anywhere on his body, and all of them can launch crescent moon blades from his blood. When coupled with moon breathing techniques, this allows Kokushibo to launch any number of lethal attacks from any shape and in any direction. While on the back foot of most of the fight, Genya's awakening blood demon art allows him to siphon away the rank 1 moon's power long enough for the Hashira to deal fatal damage. Still, Kokushibo persists and manages to regenerate his own head. He quickly has the demon slayers present on the ropes again, but pauses when he realizes that he's transformed into a monster and no longer resembles the samurai he once was as a human. This gives the demon slayers the chance to finish him off once again, and this time, Kokushibo reflects on who he was, his choices in life, and looks to his brother for guidance as he passes away for good. And that's each of the 12 demon moons in Demon Slayer explained. Are you as surprised as we are that this video still came to 12 entries? Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know what you want to cover in our next Demon Slayer video.